Today's guest, my good friend, stand-up comic and co-host of the CrabFeast, Ryan Sickler. New Year's Eve, I'll be in San Francisco at the Nob Hill Masonic Center, January 3rd, Calusa Casino. And please, go to BertCast.com, pre-order my book, Life of the Party, and get a Murdered Out Machine shirt.
This is the Bertcast.
Okay. Yeah, now that those stories are told, let's do a podcast. And
all right.
I wish that, when podcasts started, that's what they were. Was people were real conversations that we didn't think anyone was listening to,
right? And
now we know that they're podcasts, and it's like I'm obsessed right now in the Mancave. Fuck the CrabFeast. It's Ryan Sickler, everybody.
Fuck the CrabFeast. 5 stars. Thank you for having me.
We could be brothers. How are you older than me or younger than me?
I'm 40.
I'm 41. You're younger than me.
There we go. I'm your little
we could
brother,
be brothers.
Man. We definitely could. You got a show coming out, right?
Yeah.
I could use a walk-on, man.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Dude, I could definitely yell over a fence, man.
What about you and Segura as my long-lost triplet brothers?
Yeah, but Segura would have to be the oldest one of us. He definitely looks like he's in his 50s. He's the Albert Pujols of comedy. I tell him that all the time. Like, you are not fucking 28, Pujols.
Yeah.
You're like 30-6, man. Going on 50.
He's like, I called him over Thanksgiving. Fucking something what happened, and I wanted to. I think it was the Florida. It was the Auburn. Auburn.
Yeah.
I called him. He's in Hawaii watching TV, and all of a sudden I'm with Isla. We're watching the game. I hang up. She goes, "What's Buns doing in Hawaii?" I said, "No, he's at the beach." She went, "Ooh,
Ooh, fancy fucking."
The hardest I've ever laughed is when I shaved his armpits.
You shaved Segura's armpits?
You gotta Google it. I shaved his tits. He had his armpit hair reached over to his tit hair.
Wait, hold on. For real, the length of it was coming out over to his tit.
It was connected. It was just all. It was like back when all the continents were one.
Yeah,
I had to separate the continents, and so, God, I'm gonna need a fucking beer. I got so fucking hammered last night. So anyway, I trimmed out his tit hair
with what?
My clippers, and halfway through, Charlie was there. It was me. This is fucking. Man, this was a fun fucking trip. I talked about this trip because I was just in Hawaii. Anyway, I trimmed out his tit hair, and then it looked like his tits were wearing a mask.
Like raccoon titties?
It looked like it, and it was so fucking funny. And I laughed. It's one of the hardest I've ever laughed.
It's
and
on the internet?
It's on the internet. Bert shaves Tom. And it's fucking one of the hardest times I've ever laughed. But Charlie was there. Charlie's like, 2 things. Keep it clean. Don't make fun of the Hawaiians. Those are the 2 rules.
On your sets, yeah.
Yeah, on our sets. It's me, Tom, and Russell Peters. And I go up and I host and I go dirty, kind of. Not dirty, but I definitely...
You pushed it.
I did the same set I had done the year before, or 2 years before, but I guess it just didn't go over as well. I don't know. Maybe I was a little more comfortable, so I didn't curse, but I referred to sex. I did that Bert joke.
Yeah, you can't even.
Bert.
That was.
I don't know.
Much?
It just didn't set the tone right.
Was it? Were there children out in the? Was it family friendly?
I think so. And then Tom goes on stage, and his first joke is,
"Look at these titties."
No,
look at these raccoon titties, y'all.
He's like, "Man, Hawaii. They said things are slower down here. I didn't know they were talking about your metabolisms. God, these people are fat." And
silence.
It's the best laugh. It's the one where all the soldiers, because we're doing it for Pearl Harbor, all the soldiers are loving it.
All right,
they're loving it. But anyone who's in command is fucking irate.
Yeah,
and they got really pissed off. And
like fucking 8 Samoans waiting for you after the show.
And then Tom's next joke was I got lost walking around this base. Luckily, I ran into some Japanese. Man, they really know their way around this base, huh? And fucking Charlie is steaming. I'm dying laughing. Soldiers are losing it, laughing. But then the commanders are horrible. And then Russell Peters goes up. And Tom and I are in the back having beers. And we realize we're at war with a nation of brown people. And there's a brown guy on stage fucking telling jokes about what they don't see the difference. We did a gun range class there.
Mm-hmm.
And
where'd you get the fire?
Everything, every gun they had.
Damn.
And Buns was like, it was me, Charlie, and Tom, and our wives when all went. But Russell didn't want to go because he was like tired. thank God, the first thing they said were, all right, these are the rules. This is simple. If it's brown, kill it. And Tom looked at me and goes, thanks God we didn't bring Russell. And so, and then we told the commanding officer that was running the thing. We were like, the girls went to the bathroom, and he was waiting. He couldn't go into the thing until they were there. And he's like, what are we waiting on? And I said, our women are all going to the bathroom. I think they got lost. I go, can you make a joke make a joke like, God, that's why we don't let women or whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, like misogynistic joke.
Right.
He goes, sure. The girls walk in and he goes, well, goddamn, finally, fucking women get lost. That's why we don't let them drive tanks in here. And Leanne fucking almost bit his head off. Push was fucking about to lose it, and we're like, it's a joke. Thank God. Yeah, that was a fun fucking.
That's great.
Yeah. Have you ever done anything for the troops?
Yeah, I've done. Almost died on an airplane going out to I think it was San Nicolas Island. Actually, you go up to Ventura up here in not Northern California, just north of L.A., and then you take a small flight over the Pacific.
How far?
To this little island. It's only about 30-minute flight.
You almost died on that flight?
Dude, let me tell you, man. We go out. It was a military benefit. And on this island, it's a small island where it has its own fucking temperature, its own, like, everything. It's a bit bizarre. It's a very bizarre island. And they use it for missile testing, all right?
Okay.
Not only our military, if you're an independently wealthy whatever, you want to fucking shoot some missiles, you can pay to go out there and do this.
Shut up.
And there's usually only about 100 people on this island altogether anyway. So you're going out to entertain these people that really can't leave. And the day we get there, Daryl Wright was on the flight with me. And so you get there, and then they walk us out. Like, this is the plane we're going to get on. I'm like, man, this thing looks like shit. Like, this looks like fucking something straight out of Sanford & Son.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that tire looks flat over there. And it's an older guy who's military. He's the guy that's responsible for taking us. He's in charge. His wife's there. And I said, that tire looks flat. And she goes, you're right. That tire does look flat. The right tire. So he's like, it's fine.
Does that fucking make you crazy? Because I hate to be that guy, but I always point shit out. Like, one time I was on a flight and smoke was coming out of the bottom.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to point that out?
And I'm like, hey.
If I'm on the flight, I want someone to point that. Like, there's smoke up here.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I said there's smoke up there, man.
It's fucking, It's 6 in the morning and I see smoke coming out.
Yeah.
And I say to the guy, I go, hey, you see that? And he's like, yeah. And I go, are you going to say something? And he's like, oh, it's probably fine. I go, but it's fucking smoke.
Probably.
And we just taken off out of Richmond, and I raised my hand. I was like, ding, 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 ding. I go, there's smoke coming. And she goes, I see it. She gets down and starts smelling it. She goes, it doesn't have a smell. And I was like, oh my God. And then the assistant co-pilot comes back and smells it, and he goes, it's cold air coming into the heated cabin. Or hot air coming into the cold cabin. It's hot air coming into the cold cabin, so it's like when your breath goes,
oh, okay.
And so I was like, fuck, and he goes, thank you.
And then he walked back up to the cockpit. He was like, we need to turn this motherfucker around.
Go grab the parachutes.
Take it down.
Get a couple cocktails and a blowjob. So wait, so you point out the tire. Point out the tire.
Then they walk us back into this little area where we were, this little building, and now they weigh you with your luggage.
I've done that a number of times.
So this is one where I'm like, whatever the fuck, I'm not shaving a pound. Whatever I weigh, I weigh.
I drink a glass of water before that.
So I've got my bag and me. They give it your weight. They do it for every person. This particular flight was full, okay? And it's only 2 seats on each side, left and right. And we all start to get on, and, they throw our luggage under or whatever. We get on the plane, and comedian to my left in the window, and then me in the aisle seat.
Daryl Wright?
No, Daryl was right in front of me.
Okay, who's the comedian?
How about that? Daryl was right in front of me. God, I can't remember who it was. It was a guy goes by Cooch. You know that guy?
DJ Cooch.
DJ Cooch, yeah.
Yeah, he worked with me in Miami.
Yeah, he was on with me. He sat to my
that's the
left.
last guy I want to be. How much luggage did he bring? DJ Cooch.
I'm like, throw the turntables out, man. We're going down.
DJ Cooch is a larger gentleman.
He is a big boy. It was Cooch, and then Daryl right in front of me. There was a few other comedians on. Jeff Brown. I don't know if you know Jeff Brown. He was on Last Comic. And was a military guy. So we're all going out, and we get on, and the dude's wife, the guy in charge wife, she's back there with us. And Daryl is scared to fly, period. Okay, I'm not scared to fly, but I'm a little nervous to fly on this piece of shit.
Yeah.
So once all the military guys know that Daryl's scared, they do what military guys do, and they fuck with you.
Yeah.
And they are, I was like, this plane, it's rickety, it's making all kinds of noise, and I was like, you guys ever crash on this? They're like, just a few weeks ago, we had to do a belly landing back on the grass over there. And I'm telling you, I know they were fucking with Daryl, but I don't know if they were kidding about that or not. And then the guy goes, it caught on fire about a month ago inside. We had an electrical fire. And I look up and all is charred. I was like, holy Christ.
Shut up.
I swear to you. So we're flying and Daryl's scared and they're fucking with him. He's like, please stop fucking with everybody. And they're all messing with him. And then we're getting close. We're maybe 5 minutes out. And right in the back was a little jumper seat that they had to, I don't know why they had to have this woman on there, but she was a flight attendant and she had to do whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what her job was because we weren't getting drinks or shit. And she power walks up to the cockpit. Now, everyone on this flight, the guy right behind me was a cook. So he will do this 2 or 3 times a week. He'll fly over, stay like a night, and come back. So they're flying all the time. And when they saw that, all the joking with Daryl stopped. And that's when I was like, something's up here.
Yeah.
She power walks back, and the cook behind me says, is everything okay? And she's like, everything's okay. And all of us are like, whoa, that didn't sound right. And she sits down, and then we start to come in for our landing, and shit starts going crazy. We're starting to float left and right. And we look down on the rocks that are leading to the runway. There's a crashed little biplane down there. Mm-hmm. And we're like, what the fuck's going on? Next thing you know, wind just catches us. And on my left is ocean. And on my right is ocean. And the cockpit door is open. You can see through the window. So
yeah.
I see the runway that we're getting ready to come down. And all of a sudden, we get hung up. I don't know what happened, but we blew. And when I looked out of my left window, the plane had turned completely to the right. When I looked out the left window, I saw the runway. Like, we need to be landing now, saw the runway.
Yeah.
And I will never forget seeing these military guys white knuckle their fucking armchair, and I was like, oh shit, this is not fucking good.
Yeah.
The dude banked it back last second. People are screaming. He fucking comes down, and we hit, and pop! That right tire that was flat blew. And we start bouncing out of control, and Cooch is fucking freaking out. Daryl's fucking freaking out. I'm silent scared, but Cooch doesn't know what to do, and he just starts counting out loud because we started bouncing up. He's
in English or Spanish?
1. I was like, what is dose, man? He goes, 2, 3. I go, stop counting. We hit like 5 fucking times. Bang, bang, bang. And we come to this fucking stop. And we were like, let us off this fucking plane now. Everyone got off. Even these seasoned fucking veterans were disturbed. Like, what the? They're like, we almost crashed. We're like, yeah, we know we almost fucking crashed. We get out. We go right to the fucking PBX. We buy a shitload of beer. We all stayed in military rooms, the little dorms or whatever.
Yeah.
And right next to me, 3 Middle Eastern dudes fucking testing missiles and shit. I'm like, what? What are we doing out here? This is weird.
All I can think about right now is you got to take that plane home.
Dude, yes. I was like, can we just get on a boat? I will row this motherfucker back. So we all go do the show, and all any of us can talk about is that we seriously just almost fucking died. And then after the show, they're all happy. They're drinking with you and stuff, and they're like, we really almost died. I'm like, yes, we know. We really almost died. So when we're leaving the next morning, I'm scared to death. I like to think I'm strong. I was fucking scared. So they take us up into the flight tower, and the guy goes, do you want to see what happened? I go, yeah, what the fuck happened? So when you come in going from right to left, you're flying and landing. There's point A, B, and it goes all the way up to like F.
Yeah.
And normally you hit around A, B, and then you roll to about D, and then you stop. We hit at like D, and barely, he just stopped at the edge of the fucking thing, or we would have crashed off the end of this fucking runway.
What was the reason that it kind of went squirrely?
They didn't say, but I said, why not just take it back up circle back around.
Do a lap.
And they said that's a waste of fuel. That's how the military views it. I was like, how about the wasted lives on this motherfucker?
Fuck. I do not have that. I do not have that military.
No. That I'm going to die for my country. I was like, I think we were getting paid like, I don't even know if it was $500. I'm like, you can keep your motherfucking money.
My cousin joined the military, and I looked at him like, I was like, I don't know how you can do it. And he's like, oh, it's an obligation to serve your country. Don't you feel that? And I was like, no.
No, I don't feel
I actually don't. Like, I actually genuinely don't feel that.
I feel an obligation to thank you.
Yeah,
for your
I
service.
feel an obligation to buy you a beer, but I don't know where that showed up in you. Like, at no point in my life did I ever say, I don't even have an obligation to work out. I don't feel like I don't have an obligation for anything other than take care of my family.
Yeah, that's it.
But I respect dudes who can do that. I cannot do it. I have a hard time when someone said to me, "Do you want to go over to the Middle East and do some shows over in like Afghanistan?" And part of me is like, yeah, it's an honor. Then the other part of me is like, there is a war.
Yeah,
like I got to go to them in the war.
Larson goes, I've been asked and I've said no.
I'd do it. Here's the thing.
I'd be honored to do it. I'm just fucking nervous as shit about doing it, especially after what I went through with that little fucking California gig.
I'd have to do it. My only problem is not actually the flight out there, not actually being in a war zone, because I do believe I'm lucky enough that I'm not going to get blown out of the sky. Because I've heard, I think Butch Bradley told me a story about him getting like shot at in a helicopter. But like my problem is, I just don't want to work clean. Like I don't want to. I don't want to fucking do clean.
And you know who else doesn't want you to? The fucking military guys don't want you to. It's all the powers that be in the military. I also did. I've done a few for the military. San Diego, I did a big one down there on their naval base, and it was the same thing. It was work clean and no shots at the president. That was the other rule they had too.
I thought you were going to stab at no shots. I was like, you can't drink.
No,
that's a fucking panic.
Nothing about the commander in chief you're allowed to even joke about.
That's.
Have you been? We were talking about flying. Have you been on a flight where you thought it was going down?
I was on. Yeah, I've been on a few. I mean, I fly.
You fly a lot.
I fly probably more than I fly more than probably 5% of the. I'm the top 5% flyers.
Jesus,
I'd guess.
Well, especially with your show too, you've been doing more flying there.
Yeah, I've been on a few sketchy flights, but like just turbulence. Like I've had a few turbulence flights where I was like, "This is fucking." I had a really interesting. I'll never forget this. I was sitting. I get an upgrade when I fly. I get an extra upgrade to upgrade a friend, and so usually I upgrade like.
I say extra upgrade. I thought you were going from like first class that you get to sit. I
get to sit on the captain's lap. Hit the turbulence, big boy.
Get up here, come on, man.
I get an extra upgrade so I can bring someone up to first class to sit with me usually, and so I always have brought a cameraman or like I used to bring my buddy Tyler because we were both at LA, so I always flew him first class everywhere. He loved it. He got so fucking used to it that I remember one time he didn't get upgraded and he was like fucking angry, and I was like, hey, easy there, but I took one of my cameramen one time. We were doing Bert the Conqueror, and we were flying from Alaska to New Jersey, and we had to go through Seattle, and we hit really bad turbulence coming into Seattle, and he was so calm. I remember Mike was his name, and he was so fucking calm, and he had a shaved head, and he was like a hipster from Brooklyn, and he did all my shoots with that for that show, and he's like, Bert, man, what are you so nervous about? I was like, Mike, I just feel like I haven't lived my life. Like there's more, like I haven't really done anything with my life. And he grabs my drink off my table, pounds it, and he goes, do you realize how insulting that is? I go, no. And he goes, all I've done is film your life.
Yeah,
if you haven't lived your life, then I haven't done fucking shit with mine.
Because I'm capturing all of you doing nothing.
All I've been doing is following you around and filming you live your life. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, I remember hearing that and fucking, I might have to have a beer. I really got fucking hammered last night.
I was on a flight. I actually had a couple of flights. I was on a flight where we were headed to, I can't remember, I think it was to Pennsylvania, this one. And at some point, the pilot decided to take it up. And he went up, and then all of a sudden we start nosediving. I mean, you hear it going,
Jesus Christ.
And people, people are screaming. Now, this is not that military plane maybe had 30, 40 of us on it. This is a full fucking commercial airliner, and people are screaming. The woman behind me grabbed my fucking seat so hard, and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, we were going, you nose down, like your body feels it, and then he fucking levels it off. And we're like, what the fuck? And a flight attendant was right by us. I said, what was that? And she's like, he went up. I guess he went up too quick and then tried to bring it down to compensate for it, and it just started nosediving. And homeboy had to fucking pull that shit out. I was like, what the fuck? And another time, this was...
Jesus, this is all feeding into... You know I have flight anxiety,
do
too.
You?
Oh,
dude,
horrible. I haven't flown sober in... I've flown sober twice. Twice I've flown sober. Both times I jumped out of that plane.
Oh shit! For skydiving,
it's the only time I've ever flown sober. Like I never fly sober. I like, why not have a few cocktails before you go? I used to take Xanax.
Do you try to pass out, or do you just try to get through it? Do you try to knock yourself out? Or do you
I try to sleep usually.
Yeah.
Usually it's an early morning flight, and so what I'll do is I'll get a cocktail early in the morning and fucking pass out, and then wake up in Dallas, and then feel refreshed, get on my next flight, go get a massage in Dallas. I always get massages in Dallas.
Yeah.
And then this guy fucking bumps into my tree every time he does the garbage. I want to fucking say something to him. Anyway, I'll go get a cocktail in Dallas, get on my flight, fly into L.A. The hard part recently is I've been having a hard time. When I land in L.A., sometimes I'll go and get a cocktail in L.A.
right after.
And then, because I'm like, I have an hour drive back on the 405.
Yeah.
But
you're gonna be doing 10 miles an hour.
God. But yeah, I haven't flown sober in a long time.
I always fly sober. Well,
are you a big beer drinker though?
I'm a beer drinker, but not a big beer drinker. I smoke, so I'll smoke before I get on a flight and try to relax. But I like to take the red eyes. I like to fucking take that late night and it's all quiet. They turn all the fucking lights off.
Oh, dude, I'm taking a red eye. Wait, where am I going?
Get a beer.
No, I'm making sure this mic is recording too. I've got fucking 4 mics in here.
Options, man.
So I can just get this is my lengthy mic. I've been trying to do solo podcasts. I was telling you, but they sound like fucking manifestos. It literally just what it sounds like, I swear to God, is the rantings of a junior white supremacist.
Yeah.
Who hasn't really figured out
4 clan followers.
Yeah, like who hasn't really figured out. Like it just sound like I just sound like bitter as fuck. Not racist, just bitter, like just disenfranchised,
angry old white man.
I angry is
Get
what
off
it is.
my lawn.
I don't sound like fucking like a fun comic. Like today, I was ranting about hipsters. Did a fucking 15-minute solo podcast about. I talked about it the other day on a podcast, but it's been bothering me so much about this. Went to go buy Isla a bike, and this girl that was going to sell it to us was just like too cool for it. Like she was like I walked in, and I'm with my daughter,
right?
And I'm like, what are we getting, Isla? She's like, we need a 2-wheeler for a big girl. Right? She's 7.
Right.
I was like, we're looking for a 2-wheeler. Like, fun, Dad.
Right.
We're looking for a 2-wheeler for a big girl.
I'm trying to make... This isn't about you, bitch. This is about me and my daughter and her experience.
And she just looked at me like, huh? What? I said, we need a 2-wheeler for a big girl. And we need some options. We're going to need some... Like, I'm being fun for Isla. And George is there, Leanne's there. She's like, I don't know what you're saying. And she's got the earrings in the cheek or the lip and the fucking ironic...
Barbell across the face.
Ironic wrench tattoo on her fucking forearm. And I'm like, fucking, you're like, I need a bicycle. You work at a toy, so anyway, I talked about it a little bit on a podcast, and I've started to spiral because it got me angry. Because the one thing that really got me angry is Isla. There's we brought out 2 cruisers and then 2 like what Isla has. I don't know if you saw it, but it's at school. I ended up getting a BMX, like a BMX bike.
Nice.
It's for girls. It's
whatever.
Yeah, it's called the Ladybug bike.
Yeah,
that's what she called it.
I remember the pink Huffy back in the day. Remember with the banana seat, the girls had the pink Huffy.
Yeah. And so anyway, but it's pointless. I'm not going to get into it. But I tried to talk about it on a solo podcast today, and it just sounded like I just sounded like an old fucking hateful man. And so I'm like, I can't put this out in the universe. I got to work this out on stage to find out where the fucking laughs are.
Right.
That's why I do stand up. You want to hear me talk alone? Go see my show.
Yeah,
if you want to see me hang out with friends, fucking. I had a monumental moment last night. did Benson's show at UCB, Doug Loves Movies.
Yeah.
And I said a comment like, it's like fucking a fat chick. And everyone kind of groaned. And then, of course, there's no backing down from that. I'm
Right.
like, come on, what are you guys talking about? I'm the one that fucked him.
Yeah.
And then Pete Holmes was like, you can't say fat chick.
Really?
Yeah, I guess. And so I was like, but it's true.
Not at UCB, you can't?
Definitely not at UCB. I think he's like, you could probably say it at your shows. You could probably get away with that. But you got to remember who you're talking to. And I was like, yeah. And it's not like there were a ton of fat chicks there. It's just they're very evolved emotionally people.
Very sensitive.
And they're like, yeah, listen, man, don't fucking shit on anybody.
Yeah.
Just be fun.
Just be fun.
So I'm putting all those emotions in the same place. I'm more fun when I hang out with friends, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm so bad at fucking podcasts because I feel like I should have a question ready.
You don't have to have a question. I'll go back. I remember where we were. There's so many things I want to tell you now that we've been talking. But going back to podcasting.
Hey, wait, hold on. Yeah, let's talk about podcasting.
It's my new. I love it. It's my new favorite format.
Do you like it more than stand up?
I do like it. No, I don't like it more than stand up. But what I do like is
Okay, what would you rather? Top 5 stand-up hour specials on iTunes chart, or a top 5 podcast year round? Not just for you get the stand-up special like Flash in the 3 weeks is in the top 5. So you get like a
year-round podcast. Then
yeah.
I
would if I could do one or the other. I'm always going to go stand up. I was talking to Leanne about it today. I was just like the other day I'm behind in guests. I just haven't taped any. But my problem is, no one fucking knows this about me, but I have intimacy issues. Doug Benson and I were drinking last night after the show, and I told him I don't make friends very easily.
Yeah.
Like, I've been burned by some people, and I think I closed up, and I was like, look, man, I got my family. I got like some really close friends. I think I'm good. So, but that also limits me in doing this podcast.
I'm the same way. I really am.
Like,
Larson is the social fucking
God,
butterfly. Yes,
Larson
he
knows
is.
everybody.
He knows everyone. He's the social butterfly. He's my feminine side, and I am his masculine side.
Yeah.
It works. Together we're whole. We always say.
But it's like so I just got my calendar and I started putting names up. And when Larson was here, he was like, "Why don't you have Ryan on?" And I was like, I'm afraid to call him. He's
Me?
like, "What?" He's like, "Fucking." He
I live down the street.
He lives down the street. Call him. And I was like, "Really?" He's
Go
like,
to
"Yeah, he'll do it."
Sasabune, man. Sasabune Express.
So I
Sushi Don.
so I texted you and then you showed up. But that's the only thing about the podcast.
I love you, dude. That's how it works.
Fucking
Yeah, I couldn't wait. I've been wanting to do. I mean, people have been hounding you and me and Pete Holmes, to do one for so long.
Holmes
And we
is
tried, and then we couldn't get our schedules together. I did Pete's, which was fantastic. He's done ours. You've done ours.
I love doing Pete's podcast.
Yeah, his.
I like doing yours too. I like doing. I'm better at other people's podcasts, I think, sometimes.
You're a great storyteller, and that's what we try to do. That's why I'm sitting here, and every time we talk about, we went back. You talked about bikes. I remember we were kids. I have a twin brother and a younger brother, so it's three
You have a
of us.
twin brother?
Yeah, I have a fraternal twin brother.
Okay.
Which I always say, but we did have identical twin beds, and it kills at twin conventions, man. And
you done a twin convention?
No, we look. Dude, he's a tall, skinny white guy. He's like 6'2". I mean, we look nothing alike, but we sound like sometimes when I speak, I'm like, oh man, I heard my brother. Just
By the
come
way,
out.
I like that you said white guy in there.
Yeah,
Like, I heard a guy tell a story last night at a bar, and he told the story and he said black guy, and someone was very politically correct at the bar goes, why do you have to say that he's black? It was one of his friends, and the guy defended, and he goes, because he was. He goes, yeah, but you don't need to tell us that for that story. In a weird way, I was just sitting off the side, I was eavesdropping, and I wanted to go, no, I'm glad he did, because he just told a lot more of the story.
That's right.
By saying that one fact. He gave like unless it's an assumed unless it's you don't need if it's overkill. Like I was in the Ninth Ward in New Orleans and this jazz musician came up to me. Hey, you don't even he was black. You don't need to tell me that. I got it. I know he's black.
He was named Lamar.
Yeah,
you don't need to tell me anything.
But
man.
I like what you said white guy because you know what's so funny when you said that I fucking pictured him.
Right, exactly.
And it doesn't need to be right or wrong what I see in my head, but it just made the story better. And I went, wow, that was fucking crazy. I wonder how many times you guys had to explain you were twins.
It is because, when I say black guy and people get sensitive to that, if you don't and you're white, most likely in your head, that guy's white.
Yeah.
Most likely they're white.
Yeah.
The person you picture even if it doesn't have, let's say it doesn't have a color to that person. Well, that's not. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like there's nothing different saying he was an Asian.
It tells
people are white guilt is fucking over the top right now. It's so absurd. Every white fucking person sees something wrong with someone, and oh my god, how can I help this person? How can I make this situation right here in front of me that has nothing to do with me better? Shut the fuck up.
Can I tell you? I was going to pull it up, but it takes too long. We have a girl on our crew who, when she parties, she gets fucking loose. And she's so much fun to drink with. She's so much fun because she takes it to the next level. And it's like we all get excited for the
and
last.
It's a girl.
Yeah, and I guess I had to say she was a girl but you know, anyway,
that's completely different to me in my mind already than some dude who's doing shit.
So and she's white, like hardcore white, like blonde hair,
like she's
blue
the only
eyes.
Subscriber to your fucking manifestos.
So she said she fucking, we call her name, I'll tell you her name, I don't care. Her name's Kristen Hyde-Breder. And but when she gets drinking, we call her Mrs. Hyde because she's got that Jekyll and Hyde, and she really goes from running the show because she does pretty much run our fucking show to fucking someone needs to make sure they run her, like, right, and so I was gonna send
I make sure I get up tomorrow. Yeah.
She does though, man. She got fucking lit one night, and we thought we wouldn't see her for days. She was up at fucking 6 a.m. up having coffee, going like, had the notebook out, let's go, and she fucking puts it out there, and she works hard. So we're all shooting Travel Channel. We're all shooting Trip Flip in Idaho, then we're going to Tampa, and then the day I'm in Tampa, I then do a live show at the Hard Rock on the 20th. I might as well promote it on the 20th of December. And so I texted everyone. I was like, guys, if you just a heads up, I will be doing a live show that night, so why don't we all stay in Tampa instead of flying home that evening? You can all stay in Tampa, and you can all come be my guests at the live show. And she was like, Mrs. Hyde's coming out. And I was like, fuck yeah. So I went, there's a very long story to get here. I went to look, I was going to text the video of Dr. Jekyll taking the potion and turning into Mr. Hyde. And I did. Do you know what it is? It is a white guy turning into a black guy.
Is it really?
It's a white guy turning into a black guy with fucked up teeth.
Why is he gonna have?
It's because Mr. Hyde, he just has fucked up teeth. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it for you right now because it is so
from
fucking
a white
racist.
Guy with a dental plan to a black guy with no insurance.
Doctor, I can't believe this doesn't come up right. Oh, look at this! It's right up here. I swear to God, and I'm only videos. I swear to you, I played it because I was like, but then I was like, I should probably check this out.
And this is what, from like the 50s or whatever.
Yeah,
the
transformation.
Original?
So watch this, and it literally is so racist that his hand turns black. Like he goes from a white hand then to a black hand.
Perfectly manicured. Black guys always have
with a long pinky nail.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's Dr. Detroit. Dr. Detroit was Jekyll and Hyde, wasn't it?
Yes, he was. That was Dan Aykroyd. Here it is.
So wait, he's a white guy, right?
Good-looking white dude, collared shirt.
Yeah. Now let me just get you to the
nice hair.
Let me just get you to what he looks like when he's done. Black dude.
That is a black dude.
He now has curly hair. Look what they've made his nose.
Widened his nose. Yes.
And he does have fucked up
teeth.
And
way fucked up teeth. And bigger ears.
His ears are bigger. Like, yeah, it's completely and totally, but acceptable in 1931.
Oh, 31 is that
was when it came out. Yeah, 1931. But like I watched it and I was like, I can't send that out. I look like that. What am I sending out to people? But yeah, I'll call racism when I see it. I'm a big dude. I think I want to say every fucking person is a defender of anything that can hurt somebody.
Yeah,
you know, everyone's got goodness in their heart. But I seriously,
I tweeted and I seriously meant it. I don't know if it's racist to wish someone a happy Thanksgiving anymore. I don't know.
You wouldn't say it to a Native American?
No. And you used to be Indians. And
I said
Indian,
it to
Indian, and then it was like, stop fucking saying Indian. It's Native American.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, but we grew up on 10 Little Indians and all that shit. You know, like
I said to someone the other day, "Happy Thanksgiving," and he was hardcore, like definite Mexican dude who didn't speak much English, and then I went, "Wow, he's not celebrating Thanksgiving." Like, there's no way that he's like, I'm sure he's like, he'll take the day off, watch some football.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm sure there's no way he's like, yeah, let's eat turkey. Who wants turkey?
Who wants cranberry
sauce? Cranberry sauce on turkey? Like if I saw it and I was like,
Guy's eating hot sauce, man.
yeah, I can't imagine. But you're right. I don't know if it's racist to say Happy Thanksgiving
I
to
don't
somebody
know.
anymore.
Sooner or later it will be, and we won't be able to say that anymore.
I put
You know,
tweet
the
out.
schools don't have. I don't know if you're. My fiance has a son, Santa Monica. He goes. He's 10, and they don't have Columbus Day off anymore.
That's so funny because Columbus was not necessarily a solid.
Not only was he not in India, he didn't know where the fuck he was, and then called these people the wrong shit, and it just stuck. Could you imagine? I'm in India. No, you're not, man. These are Indians. No, we're not, man.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are. We're writing the books, man.
yeah, sure. You call yourself what you want to.
You're Indians in history, man.
Yeah.
That's seriously fucked up. It really is.
It really is fucked up when you think about
They
it.
had been here for so long.
He just fucking
and this
rolled in.
asshole drunk probably walked off the shit.
Definitely
like,
drunk. They didn't even drink water then. Like, they didn't even drink fucking water. He looked at them drinking water like, the fuck's wrong with them? We have wine.
Called them Indians, and that shit just stuck, man.
Wait, what was I just gonna? Oh, I sent out a tweet yesterday about I love this website Uncrate, and I was like, hey, if any chicks need to buy their husband a Christmas gift, and then I was like, I can't say Christmas gift. Like,
Right, it has to be a holiday
gift. And so I was like, holiday gift.
Yeah.
But there's no hatred there. You're just fucking talking. Oh, I'm so
I mean, I want to wish someone a Merry Christmas, but I don't know what the fuck you are, or what. Even if you are a Christian, do you, or whatever? Even if you are not a Jew, Muslim, whatever, do you even fucking believe in God and Christ? You know, I don't know anymore. I don't want to say Happy Holidays. I like Merry Christmas.
Oh, we're taking Christmas to the next level in this house.
I love Christmas.
We fucking put the tree up day after Thanksgiving.
Day after
Thanksgiving, tree went up.
I did it
Ornaments
2
in the
days
front
after.
yard, and that day, Christmas carols are playing on all round. Isla
love
pulls me
Christmas.
aside and goes. Isla comes in the kitchen. That's where our music comes out of. And Little Drummer Boy is on, and Isla turns it off. I go, what are you doing? She goes, I hate Little Drummer Boy. I said, why? She goes, his camel dies, his sheep dies. So depressing. Just walked out of the kitchen. Fucking, this kid is a fucking genius.
That's great.
She heard. This is, I don't know what this is, but the Target, the Target up by on Victory. Mm-hmm. There's a big park there, and we're walking out of the park. I'm sure I've said this before. I don't know where, but I'm sure I have. This happened like 2 weeks ago. Walking out of the Target, and we hear a bunch of Mexican women listening to ranchero music, singing along with it, and it's all in Spanish. And I'm like, wow, I wonder what that song's about, Isla. And she kind of like perks her ear up, like listens, and goes, sounds like curse words. I go, what? She goes, sounds like curse words. I go, they're just talking Spanish. She goes, yeah, it sounds like curse words.
so sure of it.
I'm like, sure, I guess so. What time do you have to be out of here? Do you have to be out of here? Can you hang out with Skylar when he comes over?
Yeah.
And we'll wrap this one up, and then we'll keep talking to Skylar, and you'll be on both.
Totally fine.
Perfect, man. Fucking
Totally fine.
So wait, you're engaged?
Let's just make sure we talk over his whole entire promotion for his movie.
Whenever Skylar starts.
Just start talking.
Yeah. So guys, you're gonna hear the Skylar Stone one next week.
He's on.
Ryan's gonna be on it.
His new movie, I think it's Walking with Dinosaurs, but every time he refers to something, is that Discovery thing that was on a few years back? Just keep doing that.
Wait, what is it?
I think it may actually have come from that series, that Walking with Dinosaurs. I don't know if you've ever seen that on Discovery, but it's fucking amazing. Okay. I mean, I guess they made a movie now of that, and he's a voice of a dinosaur. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw from the 800 Facebook post.
Does he have a back end on this movie? I don't even promote my own shit that well.
Oh, yes, I got engaged. I did get engaged.
How long?
Just before Halloween.
Oh, nice.
So not long. But I went back to an ex. I've been talking about it on stage because I've never done that before. We were together for 2 years, apart for 2 years, and we've been back. I mean, I'm rounding up to a year, but it's probably been about 9 months now, something like that.
Okay.
She has a little boy. He's 10, who I love. I love this kid to death. So, I was... Speaking of plane crashes, when I first fucking started... I've been talking about it because when I first started... like considering getting back together with not only an ex but her, I was like, this is like going to the airport and being like, I need to get to the East Coast, and they're like, see that fucking plane right over there? It just crashed. That one is still on fire. Get on that. See if we can't get you to Cleveland.
Fucking great.
I feel like, but it's been, I don't know. I've never been one of, they always say if it whatever, set it free if it comes, all that shit.
Yeah.
All I know is she has certainly done some work on herself, because the things that you used to, here's the other thing too, you're 3 years older now, and I used to tell her all the time, look around at your friends who are married, the ones who are in bad marriages.
Yeah.
And that's a real problem. Like, her one thing with me was like, you can be a dick sometimes. But my point is, yes, I am a dick. But when you're in a good mood and my smart ass comment, it's funny. But when you're pissed off and in a bad mood, that same exact comment now makes me a dick.
Yeah.
So, I was like, why don't you compare me making a smart ass comment to the shit your girlfriends are going through with their husbands, and let's put them side by side and see what's really fucking horrible. And she's certainly changed. I mean, she's super sweet. She always was. Just when we argued, she was like a Springer episode. So I used to tell her, yeah, used to get just fucking. I'm like, what?
Leanne's the opposite. Jesus. Leanne is silent and won't say a fucking thing until she explodes.
And that may also be like just as bad. Like I would rather know what you're processing than you just sitting there silent. Oh, it would drive me nuts. That's got to kill you.
It makes me crazy because I try to talk it out
instantly, right? You want to get it out right now,
and then I'm just fucking picking at a festering sore.
Right. Yes.
And until it explodes, and I'm like, this is a really bad example, but have you ever had like I have crowns, and then you'll get something stuck in your tooth, and then you'll be like picking at it, and all of a sudden you'll be like, fuck, I just gotta get it out, and then the tooth comes off, and you're like, oh, I wish I had left it there.
I've never had a cavity, man.
Really?
I'm the Cal Ripken of good teeth, man.
I have 26 fake teeth.
What?
All my teeth are fake. All my teeth are fake. I have dreams.
God damn.
I have dreams that I fucking take them out. Like I had a dream.
You got partial plates in there?
I had a dream that Ari Shafir. I had a dream that these guys were fucking around on this cruise ship, and they were trying to pour coffee on my head, and I was like, "Fuck you, I'll do it. I'll pour it on your head." And I poured coffee on my head, and Ari Shafir just showed up in the dream and was like, "Fuck him up, Bert." And the guy went to take a swing. And as I was taking my teeth out, Ari's like, I can hear Ari go, "Yeah, take your teeth out. You're taking your teeth out? Like, what the fuck?" I can't really take them out. Man. I can't take them out, but I in the dream, I took them out, and then I choked him out. But not Ari, the dude.
With your teeth? Did you throw
but they were out, so I wasn't afraid of him headbutting me. Like, go backward.
Let me get my good teeth out, you motherfucker.
But no, Leanne, the other day, we had like a fucking day, I think Thanksgiving Day, we slept till like 3 in the morning talking because I don't realize this, but I get off the road and I'm such in production mode especially when it's your own show. You kind of you don't run things, but you definitely everything's cleared through you a little bit. Like, hey, where do you want to go to lunch, or like little things, like just the littlest things,
You find that overlapping into your personal life.
And I find myself micromanaging her.
I was just going to say micromanaging.
And I micromanage her like fucking crazy.
And she's like, "Listen, asshole, you're gone most of the time. I got this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what she does is
you're on my show now.
She defends her decisions of doing things before I've even said anything. And I'm like, and then it makes her look pissy and bitchy. And so she told me about it, and I was like, "No, I don't." And I did it. I've been doing it a lot. I said, and now she can go.
When did you catch yourself?
I caught myself today. Today she said something like, this morning I caught myself, we were doing the clean program again, except I'm having a beer, but we're doing the clean program. And
you told on yourself, man.
Yeah, no one needed to see it. She pulls out the almond milk, and then she goes to and then I go, get the mangoes. She goes, I was going to get the mangoes. I said, "No, but grab those." She goes, "That's what I'm getting." She goes, "Do you want to make the shake, or do you want me to make the shake?" And I go, "I do." She goes, "Then you get the fucking mangoes." And I go, No, you're already down there. And then I was like, you could see me telling her what to do, and she was like, "I'm already fucking doing that." But then here's my problem with it, okay? Like, she gets up this morning. Leanne gets up at the crack of dawn every fucking morning. Every morning she gets up at the crack of dawn, gets up, takes the dogs out. She's a morning person. That's how she works. I don't get up until like 7:30. She's up at like 5:30.
Okay.
So every time she gets up, I hear her get up, and then she walks out. Now, if the door's not shut, then I hear chaos wake up. No one wakes up in this house like, "Good morning, everybody."
Right.
It's Isla like Isla calls Georgia vagina mouth sometimes. She's like, "Vagina mouth," and you're just like, fucking nut, like, stop it. And so I'm like, shut the door. I tell her every morning, I go, "Will you shut the door?" And she goes, "I was going to." And I was like, "Yeah, but Here's the difference. I can either say it as you're on your way out, and then you can go, I was going to, or you cannot do it, and then I can go, hey, can you please come back and shut the door? Yeah.
Which makes you look like a dick.
Or I could just shut the door myself. Problem is I have plantar fasciitis, and I can't get up and walk. I'm literally putting a pillow on the ground and dragging myself to the bathroom in the middle of the night. It's fucking so bad. Dude. So fucking bad.
Go with those skinny calves, man.
Yeah, I can't believe you told me about that. I always thought I had just beautiful legs for a woman.
Your daughters are probably gonna have great legs if they have your fucking legs in a combo.
They're gonna have great legs.
Nice legs.
Isla's gonna have thicker legs, I'm sure. She's got a big ass.
Does she?
Dude, her ass creeps out the top of her pants. She's gonna have an ass like one of those ones.
Well, let me get specific with you then, because black guys are going to be after her. I didn't want to just say guys. I didn't want to just specifically say guys, because in your head that might have been white.
No, I'm well aware of that. Like my wife
and Latin dudes too. Mexican
brothers
guys
have
out here
always dug my wife. My wife's got a nice ass, like a solid.
Yeah.
Like when you see her, you're like, ooh, that's an ass.
I was with this black girl one time. I used to work with her, and we were at lunch one day, and she was pregnant at the time. And I remember we were walking away, and this black guy behind her saw her, and he's like, damn, girl. And she turned around, and she's like 9 months pregnant. And he sees her belly, and he's like, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, what? And she's like, Ryan, you have no idea. I've been hit on so many times as a pregnant woman. There are a percentage of men out there that find this. Ding, 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 you love them. I mean,
I love pregnant women. Pregnant women are so.
But is
sexy.
Is it because they can bear your seed? Like, what is it?
Fucking is just all there. Here's the thing.
Wait, not your wife though. Like, if you see
any woman pregnant,
big
I find
belly
it
like
sexy.
that.
I find it so sexy.
Dude.
That was what made Lamaze class so hard. It's like go to Lamaze class.
He's got pre-com in Lamaze
I'm like
class.
fucking sizing up chicks. Like, holy fuck. There was one girl.
That is absurd.
There was one girl that was like hands down the hottest in Lamaze class. So fucking hot. And I remember jokingly saying, they were like, so we're gonna work on the breathing exercises. So everyone like team up with their partners.
Like,
and I remember raising my hand, going, "Hey, do you guys want to switch it up? And we'll do each other."
We dancing with who we brung, or can we trade out?
You guys want to switch it up? And no one found that funny. And I was like, but what's even funnier is at the time I grew the first time we went to Lamaze class, I had grown a mustache. Mm-hmm. That night I just shaved a mustache. So then everyone knew me as the guy with the mustache. So I had a mustache that whole time. But I remember this girl was fucking
That's it.
hot.
Yeah, like they beat the weird guy with the mustache. Yeah, that guy.
There were a couple.
My titties.
There were a couple. That Lamaze class was also like I didn't have an outlet like a podcast, so I talked a lot. And like I think that the podcast has changed that, and that I'm a little more reserved. I don't talk as much to strangers as I used to. Cuz and I wasn't getting on stage that much. I was like featuring when I could, and that's when we had Georgia. And in that Lamaze class they showed a video of two people having given birth, and they were both ugly. Really ugly.
Yeah.
And the woman was like very unattractive, and the man was even worse, and they were both very overweight. She couldn't even tell if she was pregnant or just fat.
Why would that be the demo? Fucking.
I said to them, they go, "Do we have any questions?" We watched the whole video of them giving birth. I go, "Why would they use ugly people?" I go, now I feel like I don't want to go there. Like I've just seen ugly people do it. I don't want They don't put ugly people on fucking
anything on
postcards. Yeah. No one wants to go there.
Match.com doesn't have ugly people all over the shit.
Yeah. So I fucking. But yeah, that Lamaze class was pretty fun. I used to have to take a shit like 5 minutes in. You do breathing exercises. I'd be like, I gotta take a shit,
and you would just leave.
And it was the best shits ever. Yeah. You think you'll have kids?
I want kids. I definitely want kids. We're gonna. I told her I want to have a kid before we get married.
That's fucking smart.
Because look, I'm 40. If it takes a while to have one,
start shooting now.
Yeah, I already have started shooting. Yeah,
I gotta make sure.
We'll say it out loud. So that's one thing. By the way, Larson.
Larson's pregnant.
Larson's pregnant, due in March, baby boy. But we talked about your episode when you came on our Crab Feast last year. We talked about goals, and we said them out loud. And Larson and I both are big believers in, whatever you call it, whether it's prayer or whatever. I am a huge believer in belief.
Yeah.
And I think everything we all said is in motion right now. I'm pretty sure it is.
Did we talk about, I write my goals every year?
Yeah.
I write my goals every year. I write as many as the age I am. And I just read the ones from when I was 40. Holy shit.
You doing well?
I hit all of them.
Yeah.
I hit every single one of them.
That's awesome.
I hit every single one of them. And then I went and said, I set my butt, but it's eerie. It's like, be careful what you wish for.
Yes.
Because it also, it can overwhelm your life. Like,
you could be like, I want $10 million, and then you get a car accident, and you lose your legs. $10 million.
Yeah. And so I got everything set up. Now this year I went through and did my goals, and this, I'll tell you what, I'll surmise all my goals in the, usually like, there's two things. Number one, I want to be uncomfortable more this year, meaning like I don't like going out and doing sets during the weekdays, because it's like I'm gone so much, and when I'm here with my family, but I don't, because I don't do that, I miss out on a lot. I miss out on like comics, hanging out with comics. Like hanging out with Pete and Doug last night was so much fucking fun. We had so much fucking fun just drinking and having beers and shooting the shit and talking about theories and like we were talking about everything. It was beautiful, and I respect both of them. So to talk to them about stuff, it's really like getting to fucking sit down with some professors. And then so I want to go and be in the clubs more. But the main thing is I went surfing up in Steamer Lane like very recently, and there was a wave that was coming and it was really big. And as I was paddling into it, I had all the memories of being a kid and getting thrown over the lip and fucking eating shit. And I said to myself, this is too big, I'm going to stop. That's how I feel like my life is. The wave is cresting. This last year, the wave's been cresting. And right now, I am in the right position to paddle into it. And I don't want to get afraid and not charge that fucking wave.
Yeah.
And really give myself an opportunity to fucking surf that wave. And it's so easy.
Which is growth. I mean, you have to be uncomfortable in order to grow, especially on stage, especially around that. I will say this, too, to that. There's also an art form to listening to your gut. Your gut is, your dick's wrong all the time, your fucking head, your heart, all that shit's wrong a lot.
Yeah.
But your gut is never fucking wrong, ever. Yeah. And we always overrule it. And so, yes, be uncomfortable more, grow more, but also in that moment, if your gut's like, don't, when you find your gut saying, no, man, you can do this, that's when I think it's ready.
Yeah,
to make that step, and you're there.
I've got really good gut instincts.
Do you listen to it though every time?
I have.
It's an art form.
There's
dude.
only been one time where I didn't listen to my gut, and it's been there's one time that I didn't listen to my gut. The other problem is I am obsessive compulsive, so I will allow things to fester. So like that's the one thing I'm trying to. One of my goals is be able to move past what you want to move past.
Yeah,
because that's something big for me. Is like I hold on to shit, and I hold on to frustrations and anger, and I that's fucking. There's no room for that as a grown up. I'm fucking 41. No fucking grown ups in like the 30s held on to that shit. At 41, you were like, I think I'm gonna have a stroke soon.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I hurt my liver this morning. I woke up with a pain in my side, and I was like,
just from hanging with them last night?
Yes. I came home last night, and I guess I talked to my wife a lot and don't remember any of it.
None?
And it started And it started the same conversation this morning, and she was like, you do not remember last night, do you? I was like, why? She's like, we already talked about all this. I was like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah. I came home lit. Whatever Uber driver got me home, he deserves a fucking medal.
Dude, Uber's the best.
I fucking love Uber.
I love Uber. I got the black car Uber, so fucking nice. I didn't know that there was a step down Uber. Did you know that?
Yeah, where you can get into some dude's car.
Just some random dude.
Yeah.
Lyft, same thing. The guys with the pink mustache. Have you seen those? They're all over L.A. It has a big pink mustache across the fucking whole hood of the car, the the grill. And they're that equivalent of the lower level Uber. So like just some random dude will pull up in front of your house and drive you to where you need to go. And also someone told me you don't have to pay them. They're paid. You're not even required to tip. So you've paid the company for the ride basically online.
Oh, okay.
Now when that guy comes, it's no exchange with him. It's just you can tip if you'd like. But
yeah, I like not tipping.
I like the Uber black car.
I would like someone to put out
no tip on that, right?
No tip.
Yeah,
I want someone to come out with a tipping manual so I know what to tip, because I find myself over tipping in places that I shouldn't over tip, and under tipping in places where I think like my dad tipped. My dad was at a hotel, and the concierge got them reservations every night for dinner. Told them where to get coffee in the morning. Look, and at the end of the week, my dad went up and gave him $20. I was like, "Hey, thanks for everything." Maybe 20. It was 2 concierges. He gave them both $20, and I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah. He helped me out all week. A little something extra." It's a service industry. So I would like someone to tell me, like, I have never been able to tip car services because I don't know what to fucking tip them. Do you tip them all $10? Is $10 too little? Like, do you tip them all $20? $20 is a lot.
$20 is a lot for a car service when you're already paying a lot.
Paying $100 to get to the airport
already.
So now, but like, why not just? I don't get the tip portion of that because my guy has a car service. It's his own car service. I'm paying him to take me to the airport, and then the tip, like my hairdresser, hairstylist, whatever. I don't like. You charge me for the haircut, and then I tip him $10. But I feel stupid doing it. Like, am I the only person doing this?
No, I always tip. on that.
What do you tip hotels?
Mean like the wait staff and stuff?
No,
or the cleaning ladies
leave
and
it in
stuff?
the room.
It depends on how long I'm there and how much. I'm very clean, and I'm also very low maintenance. Like, I'll go to a hotel for 3 days and not have them even come in.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
Sometimes.
Not really. I never let the hotel maid.
So I worked at a hotel when I first moved here in back when I had a job just for a paycheck, and I worked at, it was called the Beverly Prescott, which is now Lowe's Hotel on Pico, and it's called Beverwill. It's right on the end of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And this was a Kimpton hotel, the one that they're big, they're like the Sir Francis Drake and all those in San Francisco and Seattle.
Sir Francis Drake. I just stayed at that hotel.
Yeah, that's a Kimpton property. They're really good hotels, actually. They're
a great
They're
hotel.
a great chain. Kimpton's great. They're
Did I
pet
just
friendly.
stay there?
They're fucking awesome. When I just went and did Baltimore, the club, they put me up at a.
Where'd
I didn't
you
even
go
know
in
they
Baltimore?
had the Comedy Factory.
That's where I was,
did
right?
There, yeah, that's where
I like
you were.
that club.
Yeah,
I
that's
had a
where you
good
were.
time.
Did you ever get the Chaps pit beef?
No.
God damn,
no.
They didn't do you right.
I had the fucking biggest mistake. I went to eat at one of those sports bars right by the hotel.
Like the ESPN zone,
One
or
of those
whatever.
places, and it was the worst sandwich I'd ever had in my
Always.
life. And I complained on Yelp.
Yeah.
And the fucking guy reached out to me. Yelp is the most aggressive service. He reached out to me on Twitter and I heard you were talking shit about me, and I'm like no. But I was on Rogan's podcast, and I had said, fuck that place, they suck.
Wow.
It was the worst sandwich I'd ever had.
Traveled all the way
and
back to him?
the service was so bad, and the guy reached out, and he was like, hey man, I'm a big fan, I wish, come back. And I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna so I don't use Yelp anymore that way. I don't post reviews.
You should still go back. Let them give the opportunity to make it right, man.
I'm telling Skyler, hang on.
That's all right.
Just come in the back gate to the garage.
Mine doesn't understand the way I speak.
Oh my God.
I saw one time you had said Baltimore is the Cockney accent of the United States, and it totally is. I mean, it's such a weird accent.
Call me when you get here. That's better.
But so I worked at this hotel, and I watched businessmen come in, and I watched fucking cleaning ladies straight steal their Rolexes, straight steal them.
Really?
And then they would come down and be like, my Rolex is missing, and the GM would have to go through this whole thing. And then I knew that the lady stole it because the one woman was like, I stole that motherfucker. And then they would take it to a pawn shop and fucking sell it. And I'm talking get about $8 to $10 grand for these watches. They would do it all the fucking time.
It's what are they going to say?
Nothing. They can't say anything.
Yeah.
If you file a complaint with the hotel, and hopefully you get your fucking watch back. They probably are insured or whatever, but they would steal. So, even those little safes they have in the room,
yeah.
I feel like there's also probably a universal number also built in that if you just go 2222, that shit'll open right up.
I don't let anyone in my fucking room.
Yeah, I don't let them in. So I don't tip the cleaning staff much, but concierge, even front desk, if they hook me up, I always throw them something. Always.
Okay, that's good because I'll tip big when I do especially when I do what will the maid think?
Yeah,
I'll tip
I love
really
that
big.
shit, yeah.
I'll tip
well, yeah, for something like that, sure. And then they're coming in to clean that up. But if I'm, I'll throw $20-$25 down if I'm being a pig and I want you to come in and keep cleaning shit up. But
I clean the room before I leave too.
I just
because
don't
I want to make
like
sure
it.
all my shit's gone.
Yeah, I just don't like people coming in and I know they go through my shit. I know they have. I've seen shit
having
move.
A maid in my house.
No,
my wife got a maid. and I hate it. I fucking hate it because it's like one day a week. This woman's here all fucking day, and I can't sleep. I can't do anything. I've got a house guest who's just fucking knocking around the house.
You don't have to
decides to
entertain.
vacuum, and then the dogs start attacking her. It's like fucking exhausting. I was like, why won't my wife just take it back 1950s style, cook and clean? My wife's a fucking hell of a baker. That's the only thing she can.
Baker, yeah.
She can bake the fuck out of some shit, like hardcore. So wait, who do you guys hang out with? Do you guys hang out with like, do you have her kids' school friends or your friends? Who are your friends?
My friends, I mean, I have a very small group like you as well, you know. Segura when I see him, Larson.
Oh, it's Leanne. Prank caller. Here we go. Hey, babe, what's up?
Still podcasting?
What?
Are you still podcasting?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. I was going to see if you can pick up the girls. If you can't, it's no big deal. I was going to swing by Big Boss to get that DVD, or I can take the girls up and you can go get it.
What time do the girls need to be picked up?
2:30.
Uh,
Seriously, it is not a big deal for me to pick them up at all. I just thought if you were finished, you were
No.
I'm driving by.
I'm not, but if you're running late, let me know and I'll go and I'll stop and I'll run and get them and come back.
No, I'm not running late. I'm just going to go straight to it.
Okay, I love you.
Don't worry.
She's got the most southern accent.
Where's she from?
Some small town in Georgia called Bowden. So do you hang out with like your comic friends?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really hang out, and then I just hang out with her, and their neighbors are super cool, and they have 2 little girls, so we hang with them. She has a good group of girlfriends that I actually get along with, and they come to shows and shit, so
that's cool.
They're all cool, but it's a small group, you know, and I mean, honestly, nights during the week and weekends, I'm either podcasting, doing stand-up, writing, or whatever, so I'm like you. When I go to the club, if I can hang out on a night of a show, I'll hang out. But mostly, I'm hello everybody, check in on everybody, and then I'm gone. I'm just that way.
What's the best podcast you've done?
The CrabFeast, man.
No, the best one of the CrabFeast, like the one where you're
the best episode of the CrabFeast?
You're like, that was fucking gold.
We've been fortunate. I feel like we've had some really, really good ones. Brant Tobler, his
fucking great.
His first and second one were. He is fantastic, but someone had told me too that listens. They listened backwards, so they didn't get a lot of the references in his second episode from the first. But once they listened, they were like, "Jesus Christ!"
Yeah.
Mick Betancourt was a fucking.
Who's Mick Betancourt?
Oh, dude, you got to have Mick Betancourt on.
Who's that?
Mick Betancourt's a Chicago comic. He's also a writer. He just wrote on Ironside, and he's an EP comic and fucking writer. He had a small part in that Gangster Squad that was just out.
Wait, what's Ironside?
That was Blair Underwood, man, the black renegade cop in a wheelchair, man.
Oh, I thought it was about
NBC
Margaret Thatcher.
Old Ironside.
It seems like that would be a good nickname for her, right? I know nothing about Margaret Thatcher.
I think it was called Ironside. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're right.
You got it. Mick Betancourt. He's fantastic. I mean, his father died, I want to say, when he was 2 or 3, and then his mother overdosed, and he was parentless. I mean, he's incredible. He's married, kids. I admire him because we were the same way. My father died when I was 16. My mother had split.
Your dad died at 16?
I was 16, yeah, and she just had left the family, and when he died, we had to move in with her because she was, our next of kin.
Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. Start it over. Your parents divorced when they were younger.
We were in 5th grade and they split. And they were split for a year, and they tried to make it work again when we got to 7th grade. And in 7th grade, it just was not working. So my mom bounced.
Whose fault was it, your mom or your dad's?
Mom. I mean, she cheated. She lied. She was just... It's very difficult for people to hear because my mom is not. She's not a good person. She's a very rare woman that doesn't want her family.
I want to keep talking about this, but did that define the way you viewed women?
No, and because my father, we're a very large Italian American family. Like my mom is full blood, and my dad's mom is full blood. His dad was Sickler. That's where the name comes from.
What's that?
It's like Dutch, Welsh, European mutt shit.
By the way, you said Dutch. It just sounded like you were
Dutch.
Just sounded like it sounded like you were a German. You were about to take him over.
So my grandmother had sisters and great aunts, so I was always around them. And a friend of mine's mother really took. She was a lady that took. Her name's Sandy Patterson. She's awesome. I consider her my mom. She was the lady that was not only a phenomenal mom to her kids, but that was the one lady in the neighborhood that took all the wayward kids in. You know what I mean? Was good to everybody. And I mean, I still go see her and talk to her to this day. I love her. But so because my father used to tell me the same thing about race. He would say, look, just because there's bad black people, there's white assholes too. Like, don't be buying the hype that every black person's bad and all white people.
I mean, in all fairness, you're growing up in Baltimore, correct?
Yes. Exactly.
Where there's, I'm sure at the time, there's got to be a ton of crime.
Oh, we moved to after we were, I don't know.
Not saying that. I'm not saying anything about black people.
No,
I'm just saying like Baltimore
you're
is
just talking about the city.
The city's an intense urban.
It is,
city.
and we moved out at that point, and we were living in the county, which actually is a lot of crime because people from the city will come out there to fucking rob you.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was the same with women. He was like, This is a great example. Your mother is not a good person. She's not a good person, but that doesn't mean that all women are like this. They're not. Look at your grandmother. Look at her sisters. Look at Miss Sandy. Look at these other positive women in your life, and make sure that you pay attention to that, because that's how women are. Not this is an anomaly. This is
so funny. I wish that I got burned by a couple women in my life. Not my mom and not my sisters or anything like that, but like a couple girlfriends really fucking burnt me in it. And I think it grew a very misogynistic kind of viewpoint of up until I met Leanne. I mean, up until Leanne, I just didn't trust women. I didn't believe them. I thought they were always lying. I just assumed the worst because that's the way I protected myself.
right.
And it was Leanne that kind of got me out of that. And like, I'll never forget, there was something that I did something on an airplane one time where it was me and Leanne were flying together, and I had the exit row, and Leanne was sitting right next to me, and then someone had the window. Leanne was exit row, and someone had the window exit row, and
so aisle, middle, window,
aisle.
Oh,
no.
gotcha.
Oh yeah, it's a 3-seater. I'm
Gotcha.
sorry, it's one of those really small planes.
Yeah.
So it's no first class.
Right.
One right up against the wall, and I see two people boarding the plane. I didn't realize I did this. This is totally involuntary. It was a very overweight woman walked past me, and then this large, like probably 6'4", 6'5", 290. Like he looked like an offensive lineman. Walked past me as well, and they both sat directly behind Leanne. And I looked back to the guy, and I said, "Sir, if you'd like, you can switch seats with me, and you can have my seat." Because he was big and he just looked uncomfortable. He was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And he was like, "I really appreciate it." So I went behind Leanne and sat with the overweight woman, and Leanne's like, "The fuck's wrong with you? Why would you? Is she invisible?" And I was like, "What?" And Leanne goes, "Ma'am, if you'd like, I'll sit with my husband, and you can have my exit seat." And she was like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah.
So then the woman traded, and now Leanne and I are sitting next to her, and she goes, "Is she fucking invisible to you?" I said, "What?" And she goes, "Why would you give it to the guy? Give it to the girl. She had the inside seat. She's just as big as him." I was like, "Yeah, but," I was like, "he probably had bad knees." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, and she was like, "No, you are a misogynist, and you think that woman's worthless because she's overweight." She was like, "You need to fucking check the way you see the world." I was like,
Comes
"Holy
back to your
shit!"
fat chick shit last
yeah,
night.
it does ultimately, I guess. But then I said, look, there's a lot implied. If I say to an overweight woman, "Ma'am, you look really big.
Hell yes.
You want my seat?"
I agree with you on that big time. Your fucking wife had to be the one. What's that, an Amber
This is
Alert?
an emergency test. Have you ever had that happen on your phone?
I get Amber Alerts, but I've never
How do I
had
fucking
that.
turn this off?
You got to go in your settings and turn those off.
Emergency alert. What was that?
Yeah, they have them. They'll do it. It's probably an Amber Alert.
I get Amber
out there.
alerts all
Yeah.
the time because I got kids. I want to fucking know.
But
Someone
yeah, your
stole a
wife
mouthy
had the
chick with glasses from a school. I'm like, "That's my kid."
Your wife had to say that. You could not have said to her, because then it would have been a weight issue. And
Leanne's a feminist, a healthy feminist. She believes in equal for everything, and so we had a real long talk after that, and I was like, wow, I guess maybe I didn't see the world that way. But I don't know. I couldn't have said, man, you look like a big girl.
No, you couldn't have. It would not have gone over well.
But yeah,
But it did take me a while to trust women too, just dating them, but it wasn't, but I never looked at them as evil or out to get me or whatever. But I would look for flaws easily. You know what I mean? I would look for reasons to break them down and be like, that's why I don't want to be with you.
I could find a flaw in a woman.
You know what I'm saying? Pete, that's what Pete Holmes and I talked about when we were all, 10, 11, 5th, 6th grade, when we're just learning about penises and raging hormones and masturbation and all this. It didn't matter how ugly your fucking teacher was, how whatever. You found something about them to be sexy. And at some point in our lives, we flip and we will look for the very one thing that makes them unsexy, and we bounce. And I wonder why and when that shift happens, and if we could just get back to that youthful, man, your teeth are fucked up, but god damn, girl, you got some nice titties.
Yeah, there's that's interesting, because I remember my teachers then. I'd find everything sexy about everyone. And then
I would masturbate to the ugliest teachers I had.
Even the dudes.
My gym teacher, man, I used to get a good pull on that guy.
I had the most hardcore porn star gym teacher when I was growing up, Coach Zimmerman.
Oh yeah,
and he had like a fucking handlebar
Stash,
mustache.
Yeah,
he had to wear
short bike shorts.
Short bike shorts.
Yeah, bikes.
Drove a motorcycle. Fucking coiffed hair
Banging
with hairspray in it. Fucking hairy chest. Shirt with like a tight golf coaching shirt
in
with
shape,
unbuttoned down to here. Chest just steaming. Fucking gold chains. This guy was masculinity personified, and I remember just thinking, he's got to be fucking all the teachers,
all of them.
And I bet he didn't fuck any of them, but I thought he did.
But now these fucking teachers, and here's the thing too. With I listen to Dr. Drew, man. Dr. Drew knows what the fuck he's talking about, and he talks about how, like, a teacher who has sex with her student, let's say he's 15, 16, a woman to a boy.
Yeah.
He said, we're wired differently. It doesn't fuck us up emotionally. It's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
However, take that same example, make it an older man and a younger woman, it just fucks them up because they're wired completely emotionally different than we are. It
has to fuck them up.
It does. But for us, like a friend of mine, he was 14, his babysitter was 19, and she had sex with him.
My God, I'd pay money for that.
Thank you. And we're like, you're the idol of the neighborhood. But his mom was like, that girl raped you. He's like, no, she did not.
Wait, his mom found out?
He told his mom. He's like, I had sex with the babysitter.
You tell your friends. You don't tell your mom.
I think it got back to her. Oh. And she's like,
Mom, guess who I fucked?
That girl molested you. She raped you. It's statutory rape. He's like, no.
Did I
was
get in trouble?
Full on. No, because he refused to allow her to do anything about it because he was staunch. Like, not only did I want it then, I want it again right fucking now.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, can you go out on a date because I need a babysitter?
Get her back.
Yeah, I can't be trusted by myself.
Bang the babysitter.
Gary Coleman has one of my favorite fucking jokes ever. The first time he had I'm sorry, guys, because I know Gary would never do this joke on stage, but he told me one time, and I was like, why are you not talking about this on stage? He's like, the first time I had an orgasm and something came out, he was like, I fucking lost my shit. I was like, really? I go, yeah. And I go, what did you do? And he goes, well, I did a very unwise decision. I consulted my mother.
Oh, my God.
The way he said that, I just can see Gary with that, Mom. Oh, Mom. So wait, so your dad dies at 16? Heart attack?
Heart attack when he was 42. My younger brother found him in his bed in the morning, and that was when all of it just changed. Everything just changed. Like he had bought my mother out of the house. It was the four of us, single dad, raising three boys. We were living with him, and 2 years, not even 2 years, we got with him, and then just boom, dead. And we were forced to move in with my mom. I mean, my mother didn't want us. She had already split. They had gone to court for custody. This is fucking crazy. They went to court for custody, and my father's in court. We had the female judge, and she said he's presenting his case. He's like, "Look, I want all my kids. I love my children. I don't even know why I'm here. However, if you decide against that, I think it's best if my children stay together. I think they need each other, even if they're with their mother, who doesn't want them."
Yeah.
Which that's not entirely true. So my mother then speaks her case, and she says, literally, I don't want Ryan, and Derek, who's my twin, he could come with me if he wants, but I do want my younger son, Todd.
Wait, I don't want Ryan. Why not?
She's openly admitted to disliking me since I was 4. I mean, there's something wrong with her, which took me a while to figure out, but I always knew from a young age too, and I go to therapy, so I knew from a young age that my mother was not a good person. I could tell by the way the people who said they loved me treated me, and versus her. I mean, kids aren't dumb. If you're beating me, my mother was everything but sexually abusive, thank God. She was physically abusive. I hate you. You're a piece of shit. You're a loser. I hope you die. You're never going to grow up to be anything. Just always emotionally, physically, mentally, all of it. Just constantly beating the shit out of me. And, so boom, I start making the family laugh, and there that goes right there. So, but we were forced to move in with, we weren't forced. We could have went and lived with our grandmother. They were like a half hour away.
Can I tell you the thing that that fascinates me the most, and I especially in like movies and stuff, is like is the actuality of events like that. So like you're 16. Was it a school day?
It was Thanksgiving. It was the weekend after Thanksgiving. He actually had a heart attack. Was at Hopkins. They let him out, and then we spent the weekend in the city at my Aunt Marguerite's, my grandmother's sister.
Was he a smoker?
No smoker, no drugs, no anything. He
Drinker?
Nope. I mean, he was drank beer, but nothing.
Overweight?
Slightly overweight.
Just like me.
Yeah, but I have,
Great.
yes, not crazy, not at all. I mean, you're. I wouldn't call you overweight, but
I'm obese if you Google it.
Doctor Larson gets on that shit too. Like,
well, Larson's as obese as I am.
Doctor says I'm obese. I'm like, don't go about it.
You should have grown a beard and gone in there.
But my no, high cholesterol, all that shit. Like, I've been on heart medication since my 20s.
Yeah.
My doctor, and I've gone to a bunch of doctors, and they've all said the same thing. If you were a pure vegetarian, you would have high cholesterol. Your body just makes it.
Yeah.
So, and Todd Glass.
They say to you. I said this last night to some people. They tell you when you go to get your first physical, like as a man, and they're like, what did all the men in your family die from? And you go, well, it's heart disease. And they're like, that's how you're going out.
Right. And my grandmother used to. It was so funny because she would deny that we had heart. It was almost as if you were saying we were some sort of criminal or had a problem. We don't have, like, everyone. No one has gone out from cancer, everyone's died of heart attacks. Everyone.
Yeah.
So you have heart disease in the family.
It's in our family bad.
And so
I can't listen to Billy Squier when I work out.
Why?
Stroke man, stroke man. Stroke!
Well, I talked to Todd Glass off mic about his heart attack because his father died of a heart attack, and he said, back then our fathers would be alive if the Lipitors and all that shit were around back then, and he said the reason he had his is because he refused to take that pill. He's like, no, I'm going to be able to do this. And he said, if I just would have fucking taken the medication,
I tried to get on it, and they wouldn't give it to me.
Open.
Wait, they cracked him open?
He said they did. I'm getting ready to do another one with him, and I want to talk to him more about it because I'm curious to know what he went through. But he said they cracked his fucking chest open. And I don't know if he was being Todd Glass then, like, they cracked my fucking chest, you know what I mean? But so
doesn't matter. I get the point.
So
it's the weekend after Thanksgiving.
It's the weekend after Thanksgiving. It's Sunday night now. We go home, and we're still off school on Monday. And we went to bed that night, and I'll never forget. I always went to bed last. I was always a late night person, and I walked down the hallway, and I stopped, and I looked back, and I remember him seeing him lay on the couch watching TV, and I never knew why I looked back. And I went to bed, and in the morning, my brother woke us up because he had gone to the bathroom to take a leak, and he looked in, and my dad was laying on his bed funky, and what we assume happened is that he was having more chest pain. He went to lay down in his bed because his feet were still sort of like on the ground sitting, and he had been laid back on his bed, and we don't know if he yelled for help or anything. We were all asleep, and then we woke up, and that was it. And
So
the whole world
but
changed.
the thing that fascinates me is it's not the like Joey, when Joey's mom died, Joey Diaz, it's the inconsequential details that are fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So like I said to Joey, what was the first thing you thought? What was the first thing you did? And he's like, I walked down, I sat on my steps, I put my hand in my hands, and he thought, well, I guess I don't have to tell her that I failed fucking my junior year. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, because I knew she was gonna fucking kill me if she knew that I failed. And now I thought, well, I guess I got away with that, but at what cost? At what cost?
Right.
Like, so your brother finds him?
Yeah, my younger brother Todd, who was 12 at the time, they end up burying my dad on his 13th birthday, which I was like, who in the fuck's driving this bus? We couldn't wait a day on this?
It's a great
So
birthday.
let's have a goddamn wake and happy birthday.
No, don't sing it. Don't
to
sing it.
you.
We have to play. We have to play those people. So wait.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's right.
So wait. So did your brother come in? You're asleep.
So my twin brother and I
Like walk
are sharing
if you can. And I
identical-
apologize, but
I'll
walk me
walk-
through as much detail as
I will.
possible.
So we're asleep. My twin brother and I in our fraternal twin brother in our identical twin beds, and my younger brother goes to take a leak. And he looks in my dad's room, and he comes and wakes us up, and he says, I don't think Dad's breathing. And we're like, what? He's like, I don't think Dad's breathing. So then the three of us go in, and he's not breathing. And I mean, I'll tell you everything I remember. It's you learn a lot in these moments. So my father,
these are the moments that, in a weird way, create the man.
right?
Like that
They do.
instant.
And I've always been very good in emergency situations. I don't panic. Things actually, like, these NFL athletes, they say shit just slows down. It just slowed down.
Yeah.
The first thing I did was go over to see if he was breathing. I checked his, breathing. I also tried to clear his throat. I didn't know if maybe his tongue had slipped back. Eyes are still open. And I go to give CPR, but I noticed that when you trying to picture this, so you've got a body laying on its back, and if you were to draw a line halfway through and cut the body in half, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like if you were going this way, from the middle of his ribs down, everything was dark maroon, and so the blood had settled in his body, so he had been dead for a few hours, and I was like, oh, there is no coming back from this. And there was a little bit of blood on his toe and a little on his lip. So he must have had a massive heart attack, spit up a little blood, and probably either fell back or went to lay down to feel better and just died. And so then my brothers both start freaking out. And that's when, we start calling everyone. And we're calling our grandmother, who we didn't want to tell her he died. Like, we were told not to because she didn't drive. And she was about 25 minutes away, and she would have freaked the fuck out. But we had to tell her they were taking him to the hospital. So, we were raised Catholic. They had called a priest over. This guy comes in. He does what they call last rites. They say some words over the body.
Like when he's in bed.
Yeah, just laying there in bed. We had covered him up so he looked nice, and then I closed his eyes. I will never forget that. You see that shit in the movies. I closed his eyes. I just was like, you can't be fucking saying here. And then you call 911, so the ambulance comes over, and they were like, well, he's dead. We have to call the coroner. We don't take
They're
dead
talking to you.
people.
You're a fucking 16-year-old
Yeah.
kid.
And they're super apologetic. They're being as professional, as nice as they can, but they're like,
But they got that Baltimore accent.
yeah, like, we can't take him, hon.
Yeah.
He's been dead for over 26 hours.
God.
No, not that long,
Yeah.
but overnight. But he, so then you're like, this, and it's all happening to you. So here comes our uncle, his brother. Here comes Miss Sandy, who I told you, and her husband, who was very close to us. They're like,
Are people
everyone's
walking in with their emotions on their sleeves?
Oh, they can't even. Yeah, I mean, my uncle walked in the door already crying because they got the news and they're now driving, processing this, and then boom, they get to the house and shit's real where it's already been real for us. I mean, we've been living it. We woke up living it. So now the coroner gets there and they tell us, you guys need to step outside. We had a little deck and they're like, we need to carry your dad's body out of the house. We don't want you to see this. So we go outside and they close the curtains. But I looked, I don't know, I have to.
Yeah.
And I looked through and I watched them carry this zipped up bag of my dad's body out and then gone. And then we didn't see him again until whatever the day after next when they did the viewing. They did a 2-day viewing, and I mean it was excused absence in our school.
That's man. I mean, I know.
It was crazy. And the thing that sucked was he was the only one that cared. My mother didn't give a fuck. So now we've got no one. And the only people we have, we're in 10th grade. We need our friends. We need to be around people that we know. We can't go to a brand new school right now and not know anyone. I mean, it'll be the worst thing ever. So
oh, Jesus Christ.
They
man.
make us live with our mother, and because we were minors, she would get a Social Security check or whatever, and she just fucking took out a P.O. box, stole all of it. This woman left us alone in this apartment. The three of us shared one bedroom, and for half of 10th grade, 11th, and 12th, and she would come home on Sundays and do laundry, and that's it, and then leave us for the week. And we raised ourselves. We took our brother to school every day. We never missed. We weren't delinquent. We weren't bad kids. We signed each other's permission slips.
You taught each other how to shave.
We did everything, man. Everything. We raised each other. And then as soon as we turned 18 and we graduated, my mother kicked us into the street. Me and my twin brother kept my younger brother. So then my dad's mom took us in. We lived with her for, I don't know, not even a year, and she walked out of her bedroom one day and screamed, "Somebody come help me," and dropped dead in front of us of a heart attack. Now everyone that cared about us is gone. Everybody.
So moving
I
to
gave
LA,
her CPR.
Moving to LA was nothing.
It was nothing.
Moving into LA and getting into comedy, you're like, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, I had already, look, when your own mother hates you and tells you you're a piece of shit and you've resisted that all these years, the stupid little YouTube comments and the fucking tweets and even the industry slaps in the face, they mean nothing on a real scale of something.
I try to put that in perspective.
They mean
sometimes.
nothing. As long as you believe in yourself, your shots will come, and if you stay ready, you'll fucking nail it. Just keep believing. I never one time believed I was a piece of shit loser or whatever. I was always like, you're a parent that doesn't give a fuck about their family. And it's funny now because she has all these girlfriends. They're all like, "Oh, you're so great. We love you." And so we look like assholes. My brother and I look like assholes. And it's like, that's who she is to you. That's who she is to you. And fair enough. Yeah. Maybe a great friend, but that doesn't erase the fact that she's a shitty mother.
Yeah.
And someone who abandoned her children, who went the woman in the judge in court. I forgot to tell you this was a lady. Was so bothered by my mother's response. She said, "In all the years I've been doing this, was a mother. I believe she may have even said she was also a grandmother. She said, all the years I've been doing this, I've never heard a woman come in here and say, 'I don't want my children.'" This woman, this is 1988, 9. She fucking drops the gavel, awards my father full custody of all kids, and my mother pays him child support. You don't hear that now. That's how pissed and bothered this woman was. Like, oh, well, if you don't want your children and he does, well, then you're going to pay him child support.
You should have Alec Baldwin on your podcast.
Boom.
He'd fucking love to hear that.
He probably would.
He's all about fathers' rights.
Is he really?
Yeah. That I know my dad's.
I like how you just said you should have Alec Baldwin. Like I can call him up right. Like, yo, Al.
I think he's free.
Come on, man. Yeah, you're right about that.
He'd be a fun
Got fired
guy.
for that MSNBC show for some comment.
Fucking, I don't even know what he said, but I guess he called someone
He
gay.
called a guy a cocksucking F word. A homosexual slander, and they suspended him first. They didn't fire him because he usually does get away with some shit.
Dude.
And then they were like,
I think he's called.
You go.
He dropped N-bombs on
think
people.
He totally has.
I mean, I'm speculating. I'm sure he has. I'm always surprised at who can drop the N-bomb and get away with it.
Yeah, and still live.
Yeah, I guess it's okay if it's on a voicemail, but if you say it, I don't know. I don't know the rules of how to get out of it. That's why. That's why I don't say it. Yeah, exactly. It's the only reason I don't say it. I don't know the rules to get out of it.
The only reason. I don't know how to get out.
Someone told me I wasn't allowed to sing it the other day. I heard someone say,
"Yeah, you can't. You got to let that go in the rap lyrics."
Yeah, I'm not supposed to sing it anymore. I've been singing it my whole life. When I was in fucking 10th grade, when NWA came out and I said, "What does it stand for?" No one was politically correct. They told me what it stood for,
Yeah.
and the song had that word was all over it. I sang it all the fucking time. I grew up singing it, but now I don't listen to hip hop because the girls. I can't. In all good conscience, I can't have that word around my daughters. So I won't listen to hip hop around the girls. I just got a new album. Oh fuck, who is it? It's fucking goddamn it. I forget who it is. It's new. It's a new album. Someone who's just like brand new in the game, and I was listening to it in the car with the girls, and the beat's fucking awesome. And the girls are like, I like this, Dad. And then he starts dropping M-bombs, and I was like, I don't want them hearing that fucking word. They never even heard it,
right?
But I had to hit it.
You want to keep kids as innocent as long as you can. They're going to live long lives full of fucking ignorance and hatred and all the other shit that's out there.
Yeah.
My fiance's son, he's mixed. All right, his dad's black, so she's the same way. Like we're waiting for him someone to call him that or him to hear it and wait for. He's still 10 and he has not asked once yet what that word is or anything. So
that's good.
I'm a little surprised by that at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up in Baltimore, we learned eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a by his toe. My dad heard us say that when we were little tiny kids. He's like, where the fuck did you learn that? And I was like, I don't know, school. And he's like, it's tiger, man.
It's a tiger. It's a tiger, guys. Hey, guys, it's a tiger.
Can't have my kids running around saying that eeny, meeny, miny, mo shit.
Tiger, interesting.
That's how we were taught in Baltimore.
Yeah.
That's what kids would say.
I'm not even getting into it. I'm sure I've talked
you're
about
Florida, so.
Dude, Florida, I've never to this day not only heard my dad say the N-word. I've never heard my dad say the N-word. I've never heard my mom say the N-word. I've never heard either my sisters say the N-word. I've never heard that word come out of any of their mouth. I've never heard my dad say something racist, something even subtly racist. I've never heard him say anything. He's not even comfortable when people say racist things. It makes him uncomfortable because he grew up in the '60s where it was like love everyone.
Right.
And I think he also grew up.
Well,
poor.
was it. Where did he grow up in the '60s?
In New York.
Yeah, I was going to say north. He grew up
in the north, and
not in the south.
But growing up in the south, I remember hearing that word, especially Florida. Holy shit!
I remember one time I took a road trip to New Orleans for spring break. I drove down with a girlfriend at the time. I was in college, and I never went anywhere. I was always working. I was always responsible for me, so it wasn't any parents. I could be like, can I get some money for a hotel? Drive down. I pull into Alabama to get some gas. I get out to go in and pay. And I mean, the first word I heard out of anybody's mouth was that. I was like, holy shit. We're in the motherfucking deep South right now.
The South is fucking scary. I remember going to places where I was like, I'm scared. These white people terrify me. Like, they leer at you.
They do, man.
Leer at you like,
I've dated black girls. I like black girls, and I've dated plenty of black girls, and one of the most racist experiences I ever had was actually in San Francisco. I was walking down a sidewalk, supposed to be all peace and love and all that shit up there, acceptance, and we're walking down the sidewalk together, and there was a group of construction workers, black guys and white guys, and we're holding hands, and the black guys started talking shit to me, and the white guys started talking shit to her. I was like, what? We went over to the hate. These two white girls, little hippie girls, dropped the M-bomb on her, and I was like, holy shit. I'm in Mexico with another black chick, and we're walking in front of this group of like 3 college dudes, and there's a hip-hop club across the street, and he goes, that N-word music, and she just stopped, and I was like, I'm going to have to fight in Mexico. I'm going to go to jail in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I looked at her, and I was like, what do you want me to do?
Can we let this slide?
I'll do whatever you want me to do. She's like, I don't want to go to jail in Mexico. And I was like, I love you, girl.
Thank God. Wait, how many black chicks have you dated?
Plenty. I mean,
how were you when you first? I never dated anything but white chicks.
Man, my father actually, I'll never forget. Brown Sugar by the Rolling Stones came on. We were little in the car, and he goes, "You know what they're talking about?" And I go, "Yeah, Brown Sugar, Dad." He's like, "You fucking idiot." No, they're talking about black girls, and I was like, "Huh." And my first kiss was 6th grade. My first French kiss was 7th grade, white girl, which blew my fucking mind. My first kiss was 6th grade with a black girl that was a year older than me, and I fucking loved that girl. Loved it. And I've dated black. I mean, I've dated everything. I didn't even know what an Armenian was until I moved here. Baltimore was very white and black. Asian out at the universities. Like, it was very a stereotypical set-up city like that.
Yeah.
So When I got here and I started seeing the Latinas and the Armenians and I was like, holy these Middle Eastern girls. I'm like, God damn,
Dude,
man, holy
I
fuck.
really wish I had
I
gotten.
had no idea.
I wish I had spread my seed a tad bit more culturally. Like I would have liked to have been with a little. Like all I've been with is white chicks, so that's all I really know.
My dick and I are United Colors of Benetton, man. We've been everywhere. I mean, girls that don't speak English. Yup. Whatever you want.
It's like the first time you get like really expensive inserts in your shoes.
He's going to insert.
Yeah, I'm all about plantar fasciitis.
Prescription?
All I've been walking around in is flats, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck. Like I've always wanted to date an Indian chick.
Yeah, Indian girls are hot.
I said to Leanne today we were having lunch, and I go, we found like our new favorite place. It's called Salsa and Beer.
Yeah, I know Salsa and Beer.
Fucking,
it's great.
So
cheap
good.
and great.
Cheap and fucking great. So we go there for lunch, and we're having, fucking Salsa and Beer. And I said, I'm kind of morbid. I think lighthearted, morbid thoughts sometimes. So I go, hey, if I die, or if you die, where are some places you don't want me to take my new girlfriends? And she was like, well, like here's one of them, because I feel like this is our place. Because like we'll sneak out there if we're doing any errands. She'll be like, let's go have lunch there. So we'll go up there and it's kind of a cheat,
Yeah.
And so and she goes, I don't want you to take anyone to Cabrera. No. She goes, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I said, where do you want me to take anyone? She goes, well, I don't want you to take anyone to my lake house. Because she's got a lake house, and I'm like, I'm not taking anyone to your fucking lake house. It's gonna be really awkward. Yeah. She goes, I don't want you to take anyone to Italy because that's kind of our place. I would rather you probably not take anyone to your beach house. But I was thinking restaurants.
Yeah,
like what restaurants? And she goes, oh, here, Cabrera. I was like, okay. And she's like, where don't you want me to take anyone? I was like, I don't want you to date anyone. What are you fucking talking about?
Just fucking wear black and mourn me.
You don't even like being like, she's not even like an super intimate person to begin with. So it's not like she needs it, Like, just pretend I'm on the road.
I've once heard this thing, too, because Paul McCartney was a great example. They said when a woman loses her husband to death, if she really was in love with him, it'll be, she won't see anyone else, and if she does, maybe one other person. But when a man, and it'll take her a while, but when a man right away, and Paul McCartney jumped on that chick right away, and I saw
the girl with the one leg.
Yeah, the girl with the one leg.
Well,
that's what they say. He must have really loved his ex-wife because he jumped just to replace something he was missing.
Is that what they say? So
I don't know if
that's out of
there's
love.
any truth to it, but out of love, he's banging it.
I'm gonna love my wife so much. I'm like when she's in the hospital bed, I'll be sleeping with other people. Bert, God damn it, you missed that joke for the fucking spill.
Sorry. I did hear what you said, though, but I spilled it.
Skylar just texted me. Let me say, walk through the driveway gate and come around back. I'm in the man cave.
Cleaning up ice in the man cave.
The driveway gate and come around back. I'm in the man cave. Perfect. All right, he just got Skylar Stone. By the way, Skylar texted me like the other night, and he goes, where do you live? And I tell him where, and he goes, I wish this is impossible without telling you where I live in this story. So I got to fucking bail on this story. I'll end up telling you exactly where I live. It's like the time I gave out my email address.
You cried across from the Kenny shoes.
Yeah. I gave my email address out. Yeah, I said I'll give it again because I've already given it. But I said we were talking about the girls having email addresses, and I got the email address Bertrude because I used to call Georgia Bertrude when she was fucking up. I'd go, hey, Bertrude.
Real quick, your proper name is Bertram, isn't it?
No, it's Albert.
Albert,
yeah.
Okay.
So I go, hey, Bertrude. And so I got her the email address bertrude@me.com, but she didn't want it. And then I forget who I was in here with. They were like, well, what did you do with it? And I was like, oh, I think I was in here with Push and Tom. I go, I use it. That's my email address.
and then
I gave it. So it's already out there. I got like fucking 2,000 emails. And I just fucking saved them all. But so wait, so when do you get married?
No plans for a wedding yet. I want a kid first.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying. I don't want to, it could take a while. I don't want to be married, then be like 48, and then have my first fucking kid and go into his graduation. People like, oh, you brought your grandfather? I'm like, I'm his dad, dick.
Yeah.
Fucking dick.
Yeah, get him pregnant now. I did that with Leanne. I plugged that shit up.
Did you wedding set after the babies? Or after your first?
No. We got pregnant. It's so funny. I never really talked about this because I didn't want to diminish my relationship with my wife. I didn't want people to think we got pregnant and then got married.
That's the same thing she said. I don't want to get engaged. I don't want people thinking we got engaged because I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
So let's get engaged first, and then we can do a wedding after we have the baby. And I was like, that's fair enough.
Yeah. And
doesn't want to be pregnant in wedding pictures, and I can appreciate that.
And so Leanne, Leanne, I knew I was gonna propose to her. Skylar Stone, I knew I was gonna propose
everybody.
to her. And so I bought the ring, and then I had the ring delivered, and then the ring was I left because I was going on the road for like 12 days, and I hid it, but I didn't hide the beer koozies that the jeweler sent. And so there were Heyman's Jewelry's beer koozies, and I was
Why
like,
are they sending beer?
it was a classy ring. and so here, grab a mic, Skylar. There's one right here. So yeah.
Good to see you, Skylar.
That was like a solid hour and a half. We'll wrap up this podcast.
Yes.
We'll start one with Skylar.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to promote?
Just the Crab Feast, man. Every Tuesday, we're on iTunes. You can go over to ryansickler.com.
Have you ever missed a week?
No, knock on wood. Well, we didn't
did.
miss a week, but we intentionally took New Year's off last year. We did that. We're not going to do that this year, though.
Yeah, I missed a week this recently, but I doubled up.
There you go.
Yeah, and now I'm going to be backlogged. I'll be fucking good. I
actually asked him to be on, and they turned me down. I asked him to be on to promote this movie.
When?
He's like, Jay's like, well, I'll show you the text. He's like, we'll make it happen, Sky. 3 days later, he's like, hey, man, can't make it happen. I'm like, okay.
Not for December. We can't because he's gone and I'm gone. We've already recorded most of what we need for the month, but we'll get you on for sure.
I have a hard time pre-recording. I want to post them and then.
I already
fucking put them
promoted
all
your
up.
movie on this podcast.
Yeah, we talked about the movie. We'll talk about it on the next podcast. Guys, Skylar's here. I'm going to be doing a podcast with Skylar. This will be out. That'll be out the week after this or the week before this. Or you've already heard one with Skylar and said, wait, what was Sickler doing there? How come he didn't hang out? All right. What did you want to promote? Anything?
CrabFeast.com, RyanSickler.com. I'm on Twitter at Ryan Sickler.
Man, that was a really great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Bert.
mean, there's no way Skylar was going to be.
Thank you, Albert.
This episode was brought to you by The Machine.